The next thing we're going to have to do to get our page ready for a HTML5 environment is to set the CSS display rule for each of these new elements. Now, as you might remember in the last video, I did mention that while the first step we needed to take was to make sure that all browsers or all Internet Explorer browsers that were less than version 9 would need to enable this HTML5.js script. Now once we've got that in place, that's perfect, but now we need to proceed with some more information. Some browsers may have difficulty recognizing what the header tags and the nav tags and the section tags, and in fact almost all HTML5 tags will look like. And this is easily remedied just by adding a little bit of information inside of CSS. Now if you'll note, the HTML5 start page that we've got right here is not linked to any particular CSS file. You'll notice here there's nothing written there. So what I'm going to have you do is to go to the File menu, and we're going to create a CSS file by doing it this way. We'll go to New File. We'll open up this new document window, and instead of creating a new HTML page, we're going to create a new CSS page. Click on Create, and here it is, untitled number 1. It's got some basic information, and you can put in some CSS comments in here as well. Right now, Dreamweaver by default gives us the character set of UTF-8, and it's got this little comment CSS document. I'll come in here, and just very quickly I can apply a CSS comment by clicking on this, and let's say HTML5 display rule. And essentially what we're going to be doing is stating that all of the new HTML5 tags that we are going to be dealing with, and in fact there's going to be a lot more that we're not going to be dealing with, but we'll keep it in here anyways just in case you add them later on. All of these tags will be displayed in a way that we want them to be. In other words, we want them to be recognized as block level elements. Now the list of HTML5 documents that we're going to be dealing with are rather extensive. So rather than just have you write them all out as I dictate them to you, I have a list of them available in the layout HTML5 document. Now you might remember that's inside of the files that we've been working with and chapter 5 position. So if I go to the layout, and you might remember in the source code it kind of looks like this. If we go to the layout CSS file, what I want you to do is to copy all of this information right here. So right underneath HTML5 display rule, copy from address all the way to the closing bracket. Command C or Control C on a PC. Let's go back to let's go back to this untitled 1 document. And we'll paste it right in here, Control V or Command V on a Mac. Now, as you can see, the address tag, the article, the aside, the canvas, details, fig caption, figure, footer, header, H group, nav, menu, section, summary, all of these tags which are part of the HTML5 environment are going to be displayed as block level elements. That's it. So let's come in here, let's save the file, and note I am going to save it as, let's call it my style, just so you know which one you've been working on. And we'll go to the chapter 5 folder in position, and there's a CSS folder here. So we'll save it right there, mystyle.css. Now let's close this, and we'll go back to the HTML5 area. Now look at the design view. You can sort of see what they look like right now. But what I want to do is go to the CSS styles window, and this is how you can attach CSS, an existing CSS page, to a HTML document. If you knew how to write out the code, certainly you can do it. And we could even do that ourselves just by starting out with the link tag. But there's a very easy way of doing it in Dreamweaver. Go to the CSS styles window. Down at the bottom of that window, you'll see Attach Style Sheet. It's a little link icon, so we're going to link to a style sheet. All right. Then browse through the folders and see which one we're looking for. Well, if it's been defined as we have defined our site with the Chapter 5 folder, in position, CSS, you should see mystyle.css. So let's open this and then let's click OK. Now that that's done, you can see in the head section of your document, I'll just take away those spaces, there is a new link tag. The href is saying go to the CSS folder, find me mystyle.css. That's it. That's how you can link a CSS page to an existing HTML page. If we go to our design view, let's look at the difference. You might remember, it kind of looks the same, but now you can see that each of these sections, like the header, has an area around it, much like a div tag would, but now it's being recognized as a block level element. Same thing for the section, same thing for the nav rather, and the sections, the three of them, the article, the aside, and the footer. They're all here and they're all in place, ready for us to work. So this is really good information and fantastic for us because now we are ready to go and we're ready to work in a HTML5 environment. So take a look. It's really not that difficult to get your page ready and set up to work in HTML5. It prepares us for everything that we're going to be doing in years to come, and it has some nice fallbacks for anything that doesn't work in older browsers.